Good afternoon, and welcome back to another Friday afternoon chat. It's exciting to see everybody again. Whoa, what a week. I've got a lot for you this afternoon. I'm going to give it a few minutes and give people the opportunity to get on. A lot to share, a lot of news, and I'm excited to do so and help break some news and go from there. But I just was rushing around. I've been running around the county all day like a crazy guy. That wind we had last night, holy cow, that wind was ferocious, and it did a number on our large 4x8 signs that we got up last weekend. So I was running around and rebuilding those feverishly today. Some of them were just broke in half, some weren't, but I think we got them, and then I had some business to get done at the county office and go from there. You may have noticed I broke down. I had to get my hair cut. I couldn't go any longer. When it gets bushy here, it drives me nuts. So I apologize to those of you that were cheering me on to keep growing it out. I took full advantage of some of our barber shops being open and wanted to support them and get them back on the road to recovery, and went and got myself a nice little haircut. So I do feel it's amazing how refreshing that can feel, right? But we got that going. So today I want to talk to you about something. Last week we kind of spoke about what a day in the life of a county commissioner entails, right? I kind of went through like my weekly schedule or whatnot. But let's talk about really what the role entails. See, to me, being county commissioner, it's not just good enough to simply get elected or put in a seat. That's not the goal. See, anybody can be a seat filler. I believe you need to be a leader when you step into a position. And so what I've been doing in my short 2.5 months as county commissioner is making sure I learn every facet of county business. I thought I had a good understanding before, and I had a good grounding. But what I've done is I've taken it on because I feel it's my responsibility to you to make sure I understand and am able to contribute to every facet that goes on in the county. I kind of mentioned last week that I've been going to all the department head meetings. I continue to do that. But what that's done is give me a knowledge base so that I can fully immerse in the county and give feedback that is pertinent and leading the way to the decisions we're making as county commissioners. We've got 5 great county commissioners right now. I include myself in that. We have wonderful discussions. Many times we start out over here and another county commissioner will have an opinion there. Another one has one here. We bring it together so that we find the best solution for the county. See, that's what's amazing about county government. Our government structure inside of this country was really built so that the true power rested as close to the people as possible. And I'm in favor of that. Coming from my previous role as town council and mayor to this role, those decisions we make at these levels, they impact you directly and they impact you immediately. We don't have to wait for somebody under the Golden Dome to give us their blessing in regards to the decisions we're making. See, we get to talk with you on a daily basis. We get to talk with you on an hourly basis and really come up with solutions for the moment to help make sure that we can drive Weld County in the right direction. Weld County is in need of some strong leadership. Leaders that aren't afraid to stand up to things that aren't going correctly. Leaders that are going to pave the way for the next generation coming through. I'm stepping into that role. I'm taking it on wholeheartedly on a daily basis. People see that. People gravitate towards that. I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse, but for some reason throughout my life, that's the way it's been. But I think it's due to hard work. And in this role, just like any role I've taken on, I take that extremely seriously, because you deserve nothing less than the absolute best representing you. And if I fail at that, I don't just fail on myself. I fail on my wife, my kids, and I fail on you. And I'm not willing to let that happen. What we do here in Weld County also doesn't just affect Weld County. See, we've made some bold statements here the last couple of weeks as Weld County commissioners. We got attacked for it, and I'm fine with that. I've got big shoulders. Heck, I was a football coach for 13 years. Not the first time I've been attacked or someone's come at me. But what we've done is really pave the way for other counties to come into doing the same thing that we're doing. Multiple counties have reached out to us asking, what are you doing and how are you doing it? And if you've noticed, if you followed the news, they're following suit. We don't do this recklessly. In fact, everything we have done has had a way to continue to make citizens safe, but yet we are not going to trounce on your rights or your liberties, because the Constitution of the United States of America does not take a break at any time. Your rights and liberties as a citizen, just like mine, they continue on 24/7, 365. They don't get to take a break. And I will not let them take a break. Therefore, we do not issue things that are going to take away those rights and liberties. We don't issue orders or mandates that would impact those. No, see, we like to follow the Constitution here in Weld County. We like to recognize your individual rights and your ability to make the best decision for yourself and the best decision for your families. And I promise to continue that role as we lead Weld County forward. You know, I was talking with some friends down in Erie. I saw a Facebook post earlier today and I said, what's going on here? Some of the businesses wanted to open up. They got slapped with a violation. Even though they're businesses in Weld County, the violation said, you will follow Boulder County's regulations. Unbelievable, right? Now, it's Erie's decision as a municipality to make their own decision on what they think is best for their community. And I wholeheartedly recognize that. And we've told the communities that in our weekly meetings with them as county commissioners. But I think they're in Weld County. Shouldn't they get the opportunity to follow Weld County's guidelines that we've set forth? I don't know. I encourage that business owner to stand strong, which I think they are. And I'll be following them. And because true leadership sometimes takes you stepping out on a limb. It's not easy. And I'm used to that, just like others are. But, you know, there comes a point when you assess that risk, you assess that potential negative outcome, and you say, if I don't set the example now, who will? And continually, that's what we do. That's what I have to do on behalf of everybody. I apologize, guys. I'm a little fired up today. The news has had me cranking, not just here in Weld County, but a couple things I wanted to touch on outside of Weld County, and then we'll bring it back, is the rule of law. See, we're talking about the Constitution. We're talking about the Bill of Rights. It doesn't take that day off. If anybody's been following the news and you've been following Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, if you're not familiar with the story, Mr. Flynn was brought into Trump's administration from the very start after he won the election. And a sting was put on Mr. Flynn, and they tried to say that he was colluding with the Russians because he made phone calls, which any incoming president would do to build relations with the other countries. But he made phone calls to the Russians, which he properly notified the authorities that he was going to do. Was not a violation of any act that was out there. But the FBI decided to set him up. Now, Mr. Flynn's been in that world. He's been in the FBI, CIA world for quite some time, so he knows how they operate. They came to him and said, hey, we just want to talk to you. And he said, well, do I need my lawyer present? Oh, no. We just want to ask you a few questions. And they ensnarled him in a trap, trying to catch him to lie. He did not lie. But what the government did to him should have fear in every one of our hearts, Because it's not just him they are attacking here. They attacked you and me. They attacked all of us because what they did is they took away his rights. They tried to set him up, and they have. He's been battling in court for the last 2.5 years to prove his innocence. The FBI refused to bring forth the actual evidence that proved he was innocent. Instead, they went on with a sham investigation. President of the United States, Donald Trump, has rightly said throughout this whole deal, right, that he looks forward to watching Michael Flynn get proven innocent. And lo and behold, yesterday, Attorney General Barr said that exact thing, and the government dropped the charges against Michael Flynn. Justice was served, and it was done accordingly, which should bring us hope. It should bring fear, though, that the government thinks they have the power to strike down on individual citizens such as Lieutenant General Flynn or you or me. Because if they can come after them and try and frame them for false crimes, just like they tried to do to President Trump, they can sure as heck do it to you and me in a heartbeat. And that should give us fear. Don't ever stop fighting for your rights. Don't ever stop fighting for your liberties. Because Sherry keeps hitting her phone on her volume, so I apologize if you hear that. She's a rookie at this video stuff, right? But, folks, we have to continue to persevere. And I want to say, you know, this type of corruption, this type of blatant disregard for the law, it doesn't just happen in Washington, D.C. No, it happens at all levels of government. And we have to be vigilant as citizens in this great county to make sure that we stand up to that if you recognize it. And do the right thing on behalf of everybody. I know I believe in the rule of law and like to follow that rule of law. If we don't follow it, if we think there's two sets of law in this country, one for those that are privileged and the other set for the rest of us, then we're nothing better than a banana republic and socialism has taken over. And I believe it was Benjamin Franklin that said, if we give up our rights and liberties so easily we don't deserve them, well, that's what's scary, especially in this pandemic. We have to be able to still stand up for our rights and liberties. And that's what we're going to continue to do, or I'm going to continue to do. And I encourage each of you to do the same thing. Because we're under attack. They're using this pandemic to force new social norms on us that, quite frankly, are scary. They're testing how far we will go to give up our liberties. Right? I mean, right now, Congress is, and some people in the Senate are saying, oh, we should give a $2,000 a month check to every man, woman, and child across this country on a monthly basis. Not just a one-time bailout like they just gave, but a monthly check. How is that not socialism? That at its core is socialism. No one wins in that. Not one country has ever succeeded in socialism. Venezuela, what a tragedy down there. How many resources does that country have, natural resources, that socialism absolutely destroyed? Russia. Let's go down the list. Cuba. And every time I hear the same excuse, it just wasn't done properly. If socialism was applied the right way in our country, we would do it so much better. Baloney. Baloney. It's been done to the extreme in every country it takes effect in. And it absolutely destroys it, because what it does is it creates two classes of people. The haves and the have-nots. And once the haves have it, they sure don't give it up. And they'll use every means of force available to them to make sure the have-nots do not get to become haves. So, folks, we have to stand strong. That's why I love Weld County. We understand our rights. We understand our liberties. We have a sheriff that stands up for us on a daily basis regarding the Second Amendment. Folks, that Second Amendment is the only thing that keeps us from crossing over that threshold. We have to continue to support it. I'm sorry I'm so worked up. It's been one of those days. I've had a multitude of phone calls that would just blow you away, and it's been interesting, right, to say the least. But it's been fun. Some of it's flat out been scary. One of the things I did want to touch on, though, is we talk about things, and this is something we should celebrate. And this was one of those breaking news things I wanted to bring to you. It's sad. It's leaves me feeling with a bit of a vacancy or whatnot. But Dr. Mark Wallace, our public health director, came to me and the other county commissioners yesterday morning and let us know that he is retiring. He needs to focus on his health and his family, and said that it's time. And what he's announced is he's going to help us fill out the last bit of this month through the 29th of May, being the ever consummate professional that he is, and then focus on that health and his family. And I just want to say to Dr. Wallace, and I'm going to tell you what I told him to his face, is what a pleasure it has been working with him. He has been nothing but an absolute stalwart for Weld County. He took our public health office, he got it credentialed back in 2015. He's given 25 years of service to the residents of Weld County to make it a healthier place to live, to increase our education throughout the great county on health measures we can take. And he's helped every man, woman, and child across the county. Doesn't matter on your race, creed, religion, your poverty level, or your income level. He's helped them out. And I want to say to Dr. Wallace, job well done. He's done an amazing job. He's done a good job throughout this pandemic. I want to let you know what our next steps are. A few weeks ago, we transferred over the handling of the COVID-19 pandemic to our EOC, our Emergency Operations Center, and our crew has already been working on that, so that transition has occurred, and we'll continue there. So we have a plan moving forward. It's not like we're having to panic and restart the wheel, but Dr. Wallace has just done a fabulous job for Weld County. He's going to be truly missed. We said, hey, Dr. Wallace, if this retirement thing doesn't work out and you decide you want to come back, make sure you call, right? Because we will be happy to have you back. So Godspeed to you, Dr. Wallace. You're in my prayers, just like I know you are in many people's prayers. And I wish you nothing but the absolute best. It's been a pleasure to work with you and your team. And this week we actually got to honor his team, as on Wednesday we recognized National Nurses Week. We brought in all the nurses from across the county and recognized them with little tokens, little plaques, and certificates stating what a great job they do. They've absolutely risen to the occasion here for the pandemic. Dr. Wallace has liked to say this is their World Cup, and it truly is. And they've done a great job. They never in their wildest dreams probably expected something like the pandemic, but I say thank you to all those nurses, not only at the county, but in our department, but at our great hospitals, at our clinics. You guys have really risen to the occasion, and I say thank you. The other thing that was this week was National Teachers Week. And being that I have a wife that is a teacher, I need to say thank you to those teachers. It's not that I need to, I want to. But I know she would give me a hard time if I didn't. So I say thank you to all the great teachers in Weld County and beyond, because truly you have gone through some trying times right now. Never in your wildest dreams did you imagine you'd be having to teach classes online or through Zoom. And for some, that's easier than others. Elementary kids, they require that hands-on contact, that physical contact, as they're learning those fundamentals, the ABCs, the 1, 2, 3s, learning how to read and write and interact with their other kids. That's important too. And you guys have persevered through this like absolute champions. So I just want to say great job. My hat's off to you. My hat's off to all of you that have been impacted by COVID-19, because I know you're making the best of it. So with that, businesses have been opening up too here across Weld County. I know as I was driving around today fixing up my signs, the traffic I saw was quite increased over the last 8 weeks, I guess it was. Funny story, I've been in meetings with CDOT till about 9 o'clock at night for the last few nights as we're going through some transportation plans. And oh yeah, the budget's hitting. The governor and JBC, the Joint Budget Committee, are wanting to strip every fund out there, so they're trying to take money away from our I-25 project, which I'm fighting to ensure that does not happen. And been on a multitude of phone calls, and so that's why I've been leading that charge. But we were talking with CDOT, our Region 4 Director, Heather, and she let us know that they have been able to, because of the lower traffic rates, open up close a lane during the day on I-25 so they can start making their improvements. Well, construction during the day moves so much faster than construction at night. So she was telling us how fast that's actually accelerating the project. But they've been tracking some of the speeders. And I don't know if you've noticed, but it seems like there is an awful lot of law enforcement out on our roads right now. But Northern Colorado does get the Golden Award or Golden Ticket, I think you'll probably have to say, for the highest rate of speed clocked on the interstate. And that rate was 156 miles an hour going down I-25. I said, excuse me? And Heather said, yeah, 156 miles an hour. Whew! That boy was moving, I'll tell you what. So please don't do that. I don't encourage it. I, as an insurance agent as well, right, I encourage safe driving, and that would not be what I consider safe driving. So let's not do that, and especially now with the increased traffic. So please be mindful of your fellow citizens out there and their safety as well. So with that, I want to touch base before I take questions, let you know we're still continuing through this campaign. If you would so choose to donate or share this video with your friends, I would encourage you to do so. I know times are tight for most of us, but any amount helps. $5, $10, $50, $500, or $2,500 really helps out the campaign. Those contributions go to help us get signs. They help us to do mailings. They help us to hit our social media blasting that we've begun. And, you know, I don't get into anything to not win. Just like when I was coaching football, the obligation I felt to my players in Eaton when I was coaching at the high school team is I'm going to do whatever I can to win. But it takes a team. It takes an army, as Shari Williams of Leadership Program of the Rockies would say. It takes that army, and I need your help as we move forward with this. So please share this, but if you can encourage others to give, or maybe they want a sign, let us know. For a nominal donation, we'll give them a sign, or if they just ask really nice, we'll give them one too. But I really count on you to help me win this race, and let's get this victory here for the primary. With that, I'm going to go to questions. Sherry, did we have any questions or comments come in?
Yep. First one is from Debbie. Wants to know, are we going to have a county fair?
Debbie asked if we're going to have a county fair. Yes, Debbie, we're going to have a county fair. We've been meeting with the fair board here for the last several weeks. Scott James is the commissioner representative to the fair board, but we've all weighed in on this. We're actually drafting our letter for the fair. It is going on. All the kids' projects, all the kids' animals, they will be able to show. It's going to be a little different because we're trying to recognize the social distancing requirements, or not requirements, but norms we're trying to recognize. So some of the extra stuff like the carnival or the dance, that stuff's not going to go on. That's when you kind of have a hard time social distancing. But we think it's extremely important that those kids that have been working on their projects, whether it's sewing, whether it's shooting sports, or raising up animals, their lambs, their chickens, their cattle, it's important to get that opportunity to show off their hard work. The sale is going to continue, so I encourage you, if you want to support those youth, show up for the sale. And you can even donate online or not in person, but the fair is going on, Debbie, so we thought that's extremely important for our Weld residents.
Okay, and Jeff has a question. Can I put up a yard sign now? What are the rules?
Jeff has a question. He asks if he can put up a yard sign and what are the rules. Yes, Jeff, you can put up a yard sign right now. We're handing them out. We've got out a few hundred already, and we've got a few hundred more ordered, but we have some available, so if you'd like one, shoot us your email address, either at kevinforweld@gmail.com, and that's KEVIN, the number 4, Weld, WELD, @gmail.com. If you want to send us your address, we'll be happy. We've got an army of people out there delivering signs. We'll be happy to get those to you or anybody you may know. And the rules for them are just follow your community's guidelines, but you can put them in your yard. You're not supposed to put them in public spaces like municipally owned spaces or stuff that you don't have permission to put it in. But your private property is well within your rights. Obviously follow HOA guidelines if you've got those. I'm not encouraging anyone to break the law by any means, but I appreciate your support, and we just got to have them down after the race is over. So that's the deal. Any other questions?
Yeah, one last one I just got. What is the drilling activity in Weld right now?
That's a good question. Question was asked, what's the drilling activity? So earlier this week, some of you may have partaken in it. We did a town hall call, and the 5 county commissioners, we did a dial out to you on your phone numbers that a company we contracted with has on record, and we had 5,000 people participate in that phone call, which was quite remarkable. We asked a conference call, or we asked a survey question during that town hall, asking if people enjoyed this method of getting information. 97% said yes. So this is one of those new tools we learned to use during the COVID outbreak, because we feel it's so important as county commissioners to keep you, the individual here in Weld County, updated on what we're doing. We went through this process. We're going to do it again. We feel it's important that we keep that transparency and those open lines of communication. We also fielded over 20 questions from the community directly from you guys, answering anything and everything. There was no holds barred. I did give a presentation on what the drilling activity is in Weld right now. Back in March, we had 26 wells drilling across Weld County, if memory serves me right. But that was before COVID. Come April 1st, we were down to 20 wells that were actively drilling, and I shouldn't say wells, I should say drilling rigs. All of our wells are producing right now. We haven't closed any in. As of May 1st, though, we are down to 6 active rigs drilling in the county. That's due to a lot of factors. That's due to Senate Bill 181, which is creating a ton of uncertainty in the market and causing oil and gas companies to say, we don't know what it's going to cost us. We don't know if we can even plan to put a well here. You had COVID-19 hit, and you also had the Russian and Saudi war going on as they tried to outproduce one another. Well, with COVID-19, the amount of driving and transportation usage of oil and gas is down drastically, while the supply got shot through the roof by Saudi and Russian companies. And so what has happened during that time is we have this glut of oil on the market. We went from before COVID, we were about $60 a barrel for oil. We actually went to negative $37 a barrel at one point. We've now bounced back. We're in the mid-20s right now. It's slowly coming back, but we need more demand. This is capitalism, right? You got to have demand outweigh supply, so you start bringing those prices back up. As people start getting comfortable and going out and really getting involved in the community, that demand will go up. We're already seeing more traffic on the road, so that means more fuel's getting used, and it'll come back. It's not going to be where it's at. It's going to take a little bit of time, but I have every confidence in the market. So, did we have any other questions come through? Okay. That was our questions for the day. I appreciate your guys' feedback. Forgive me for getting a little fired up, but I'm passionate about this stuff, and I think it's important you know how passionate I am. I'm looking forward to my church getting started back up here in the near future so that I can get back there, get back with my small group that I lead as we dive more into the various chapters in the Bible that we've been studying, and get to see my fellow friends there and embracing that fellowship. I know my daughters are bummed that school's getting over, but I also look forward to getting back to the lake and enjoying a few things, just as I'm sure you have those things you like. In fact, last Sunday, I guess it was, I got in my first surf run of the year. So that was our inaugural surf. I'm excited about it. Maybe I'll send out a post on that this week so that you guys can check it out. But that's kind of my pastime I enjoy to do. Let me know what your pastimes are that you enjoy to do, whether that's golfing, four-wheeling, gardening, whatever it may be. Shoot me a post. I'd love to like it and share that out. So thank you, everybody. It's always a pleasure. God bless.